Alrighty, everybody, it's Michael Alder here from CarpetExpertBlueprint.com covering some more flooring Q&A questions that came in. And this one is, how much do vinyl plank installers make? Now, this may have been submitted by an installer that's looking to expand into the vinyl plank installations and wondering what they should be charging, or a DIY person may have submitted this wondering if it's worth it for them to save the money and do it themselves or to hire someone out. So I will break this down and we can run it from there. So what I did was I basically did a mock-up of a living room, dining room, or I'm sorry, a kitchen and dining room that's pretty common here in Northeast Ohio. Open floor plan, they're smaller, typically about 10.5 wide by 19.5 long. You got the cabinets here, got a little bar area as they go over, and you got the chairs here. The kitchen, you got the stove, the fridge, back door to enter into the house. Over here, you got your living room, big wide open entryway. So let's break this down and see what it would cost or what an installer could charge to have this done. So to keep the numbers simple, we got 10.5 wide by 19.5 long. So we're gonna call the room 11 by 20. So that gives us 220 square feet we're working with here. Now, vinyl plank installers make anywhere from, I've heard they charge as little as $1.50 a square foot. I personally charge $2 a square foot if it's empty and ready to go. And then, people have charged upwards of $3 a foot. So let's just go off of my personal experience here, and you could adjust the math for wherever you live, but we'll call it $2 a square foot. So your installation of the material is gonna be $440. Now, it doesn't actually stop there though. So assuming you're just coming in, dropping in a floor and walking away, $440. But a lot of times you're gonna add quarter round shoe molding around all this to give it a nice finish for those little hairline gaps if you're cutting it directly to the baseboard. Now, me personally, I charge $2 a linear foot for this. So based on this room here, we're gonna have about 68 linear feet. So you figure 11, 11, 20, we'll call this 10 right here, and maybe this 16 around this little part right here. So we'll call it 68 linear feet at $2 a foot. We got $136 for the quarter round molding and installation on that. Now, a lot of times this is where everything will stop, but a couple things to keep in mind. Sometimes installers charge to move stoves and refrigerators. So in this particular case, it could be anywhere from thrown in with the package and no charge, or upwards of $75 to have them maneuver your appliances around. So it could be, we'll do appliances. Excuse my handwriting. Can be 0 to $75 to have someone handle that. And then the only other charge that you might run into is sometimes hard surface guys are just that, only hard surface guys, and they don't deal in carpet at all. Now, when you get over to this open edge here, a lot of times these rooms are carpet, and someone's gonna have to stretch the carpet back up and tie it in nicely to the new floor, whether with a reducer or some form of metal transition, whatever the case may be. But if there's a non-carpet guy doing this and only a hard surface installer, you would have to hire a carpet guy to come out, which they would charge $75 in most cases for a minimum stop charge to get that done. Or if the installer's already doing, they say, hey, we take care of that as part of the package. A carpet tie-up is gonna range anywhere from 0, if it's thrown in, to if you had to sub it out, $75. So let's add all this up and we'll figure out exactly what you're looking at here. So you got $440 and the $136, you got, what is that, $576? That's on the base pay there, assuming everything's included, and you could be up to as high as $726 if you got to do the carpet tie-up at $75 and the appliances at $75. So if you're an installer getting into the game here, this is actually decent money because you could hammer these out fairly quick. 5-6 hours, you can knock these out and you make a decent payday on them here. If you're the homeowner and you have plenty of time on your hands, then you can figure you could do this yourself and save $500 to $700 throwing it in yourself. Now, what about the actual material? Now, there's a range on that as well. Now, a cheap vinyl plank floor, you're gonna be at about $2 a foot. So your material is gonna be anywhere from $440 for some cheap stuff, and then you can pay about $350 for a really nice product. So at $350 a square foot, you're about $770 there. So at that point, you got to add these numbers up. You know, worst case scenario, you're almost $1,500. Is it worth it to you just to sub it out, or do you want to save this chunk of money here, spend $700 for a new floor? Or if you're an installer wondering what to charge, just use this formula here or adjust for your local marketplace. Like I said, you know, I know people charging upwards of $3, so you could spike these numbers if the market supports it. And if there's a big influx of installers, you may have to do it for $175. Like I said, I'm at $2 a foot. I have no problem selling product for that. So here's a rough breakdown for you. Be sure to comment below with any questions. I'll create a follow-up video doing some math for you and breaking things down. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.